While the Walt Disney Company is issuing challenges and lawsuits against their host governments, and the battle over the former Reedy Creek Improvement District rages on in Florida courts, fellow Orlando destination company Universal Studios has confirmed that they are actively trying to build a theme park in Great Britain, and that all political parties are reacting in a very unexpected way. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. I'm Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place. With the Walt Disney Company handing over billions to Comcast and waging legal war with the state of Florida, Comcast is building a theme park, but also a resort facility in Vegas and maybe even a theme park in Spain. As news broke out about Universal Studios Great Britain, we expected to hear the usual uproar from either side of the aisle on social media. However, we were surprised to find that not only was social media responding universally positive, but all three political parties from their host city of Bedford, England, were reacting positively. Let's get into it.
But think about this, guys. We just had Kevin Lansbury, right, the interim CFO, and Bob Iger talk about turbocharging the theme parks and how they want to go ahead and we're going to invest in our theme park properties, right? But they with an asterisk, it's going to be on the latter half. So. Well, if
Vash, what they were talking about is turning on all the lights at Epcot one day. They're going to try it. Just wait. That's the turbo.
Once they get those solar panels working, you bet.
So if we look on the... Oh, go ahead, Culture.
No, please.
If we work on the timeline right there, that would put us at, 2028? And then maybe, okay, we'll go ahead and we'll invest into big theme park properties. Well, working on that time scale... I mean, when Disney starts a project, it can go for as little as 3 years or as many as 7 years. Universal is talking about getting a theme park built, open, inviting guests in 2030.
Yeah.
And by the way, when those articles say they're now considering, and it'll take a while to make the decision, what they're really saying is, hey, local government and permitting agencies, what would you like to give us to make this happen now and not 10 years from now?
Exactly.
Because you don't invest all that money in the land if you don't mean to do it. You just want to get the best deal you can, and that's why you say, well, maybe.
You beautiful people, I just have to point out that this is actually the next topic that I wanted to discuss. While Siftad is over here supposedly causing trouble for the Walt Disney Company, Disney has lost the ability to build with impunity in their parks,
or even competence, let alone impunity.
Right, which they presumed that they were going to have when they talk about, oh, we're going to build this, oh, we're going to build that. You know, in 10 years, we're thinking about getting married to a really hot lady that we haven't met yet.
We're doing a segue.
Yeah. No, it's not a segue. It's just holding on to this topic that we're talking about and continuing on with it. There's obviously this political environment in the state of Florida, which is actually a great environment to build a theme park in. I'm talking about Siftad right now. And Disney is acting like they're being put upon because they don't have the complete government tyrannical control that they used to have, say, 10 years ago with Reedy Creek. The amount of hoops that they jump through in order to put up this pretend government and to exercise control of even other people's tax dollars. There are 57 constituents that were not represented when Disney decided to use taxpayer dollars to pay for lime, orange, and grapefruit garages, amounting to almost $100 million of alleged public funds misappropriation. Meanwhile,
well, it's Florida. You need a public facility to park your citrus fruit in.
Absolutely, you don't want that to rot. Otherwise, that's how you get fruit flies. And then you got love bugs, which. Yeah, I didn't realize that love bugs were not all over the United States until I left Florida. But meanwhile, in Bedford, they have support from all three political parties. Yes, over in the UK, they have three political parties. Bedford's leaders respond to Universal theme park plans, this by Erica Roth. This week, Bedford Independent broke the global exclusive that Universal Destinations and Experience has purchased land in Bedford Borough with plans to open their first UK theme park. While this is by no means a done deal, it has created a buzz in the borough and in a first for Bedford, almost universally positive comments on social media. Can you even imagine that happening in the United States? Following the announcement, a spokesperson for Universal said the land in Kempston Hardwick will undergo feasibility studies before the company makes a decision to proceed. Bedford's mayor, MP, and councilors told the Bedford Independent that inward investment into the borough was welcome, but there was some caution in their comments. The suggestion of a major business investment is, of course, a positive. Nevertheless, these are early days, and much detailed work is required before any decisions are made. Mayor Tom Wooten, conservative. We very much welcome and are excited by the interest from Universal. The Labor MP for Bedford and Kempston, Mohammed Yassin, described the news as, without a doubt, a very interesting proposition for our region. Can you even imagine something happening in the United States with this level of support?
Let's put it this way. I don't think the mayor or the MP are worried about somebody showing up at a meeting with a pink slip.
That's a very good point, and let's circle back to that. I don't know. Anybody want to venture how to pronounce that one?
Sir Henry Vaughan?
Is that Sir?
Claire, it's
Claire.
It's
Okay.
Welsh, I believe.
Well, Henry Vaughan, liberal media Democrat group leader, told the Bedford Independent, "This is an outstanding vote of confidence in Bedford Borough and is built on a reputation built under Mayor Dave Hodgson over many years."
I think the reason why you're getting so much unification on this is because the UK has been trying to court a big theme park player for some time now. Again, they were desperate to try to get Universal in the marshlands in Essex 30 years ago, and they were trying very, very hard to do that. So the economic development, the economic opportunities that arrive with something like this are significant, and I think they understood that back then. They understand that even greater now. But that's the interesting thing about that kind of public comment period, because that's kind of what sidelined this deal originally back 30 years ago. Universal wanted to go ahead and forego that 2-year public comment period, and that was really being pushed by the conservationists at the time. And unfortunately, they couldn't necessarily get that done without some pretty strict scrutiny right here. So we'll have to see what actually happens on that with that aspect of it, because that's a significant one for sure.
I also think Brexit has a lot to do with this, because England is looking to develop their domestic economy independent of Europe in a way that they weren't before.
That's a fair point.
So one thing that I will point out here is that there is some risk of this not happening. Obviously, Universal has bought the land. That is a big deal, and they want to lock this up so that it can happen. If they don't have public support, this will not go forward. So you have 3 political parties coming together to say, guys, we really need this to happen. Is there a single issue in the United States in the last, let's say, 5 years that every party has come together and say, yes, this is what we need to do? And it's not a uniparty issue. It is actually having actual genuine, popular support. Has any of that come up, even on something as trivial as a theme park?
Probably as Johnny Depp was the last example of both sides coming together and going, maybe the media might be wrong here.
Yes,
that's the only thing.
But that wasn't a political issue. This is.
I would say the last time everybody agreed to do something like this, it was a bad thing because it was Reedy Creek.
And that was, if we're going through American politics, that was 1967.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, yeah, there's a lot of unification on this, but like I said, I mean, some of those environmentalists, some of those let's say,
well,
how do I say it? Environmental extremists, or maybe.
My larger point, though, Vash, was that we all, what did Churchill say about the English and the Americans are people separated by a common language? Brit politics is different. It's not even, I mean, look at the American versus the British House of Cards, if you want a lesson in that. So I don't think we're really able to make a comparison between the two that makes any sense. I don't think our politics is anything like Canadian, and everybody thinks, oh, Canadians are just like us. They just live up there and say, hey.
Yep.
So they're not.
A little different.
You know what's funny? One of my favorite statements, it was by a comedian. He said that the House of Commons in Britain is like the House of Lords, except with a 2-drink minimum. I don't know if it's true, but that has always fascinated me.
Well, that's kind of the Brit version of DC is Hollywood for ugly people. So,
Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Is Universal just outclassing Disney, or is everybody just playing nice before the next shoe drops? You tell us, because we'd love to know. This clip was part of our now regular Thursday live stream, which starts at noon Eastern Time. Of course, if you're not in that time zone, just hit the notification bell if you want YouTube to tell you when that is. Like this video if you like this video. If you know somebody who is as interested as we are in this kind of thing, then maybe you should share the link with them. And of course, please consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.